Hello friends, thanks for joining me today. Today we will talk about Spring Data JPA. Spring Data JPA is the thing which need more time for explanation. So what we did is we just break down all the videos into multiple videos so that I can better focus on each of the pieces and you can understand those explanations. In these videos, I will ensure you to write data access code in more efficient and easy way. These videos will help you not to write data access for a small enterprise, rather very conveniently you can design big enterprise data access layer as well. Now, as we are going to design data access, let's build up our strong base. Here, particularly in this video, we will talk about some of history behind data access, covering JPA, ORM, Hibernate, Spring Data JPA. And from next video onwards, we will start with practical. Also friends, if you are new to the channel, then please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you will get early notification. Please like, share and comment on videos. So friends, now without further ado, let's start our discussion. So first thing is, what is Java Persistence API? So it is a standard for managing object relational mapping of relational data into Java application. It is a bridge between object-oriented and a relational data model. So basically, Java persistence, it is some sort of practice, it is some sort of constraint, it is some sort of standard that some people has designed it. Now, there are different vendor into the market who are going to implement that standard. Technology always revolves around speed, security, reliability and cost. Java community always come up with APIs which works on all of the above. Development and maintenance cost of Java application using API is minimal. Java application already reducing a lot of development and maintenance cost by using XML and annotation based configuration. As for example, just think dependency injection. It reduces a huge development and maintenance cost. Implementing data access layer always was a cumbersome job. As for simple query, developer need to write a lot of boilerplate code. Spring Data JPA comes with significantly improved version of data access layer implementation. Developer can write their own repository, including custom finder method, which Spring Data provides implementation at the runtime. So what we will do now in couple of slides, we will try to understand from where JPA started, from where Hibernate came into the picture, all about Spring Data JPA, means what is the picture behind a Spring Data JPA. That's what we need to understand and build up our base so that is going to help in our implementation when we are going to implement data access layer, when we are going to code about data access layer. As a developer, you have to be aware of all these things, like from where it started and all. Let's start with ORM, object relational mapping. So let's try to understand it. Java is an object oriented programming and database has a relational base. Both of these are completely different. In order to work against a relational database, Java developer has to write a lot of code to make the request which DB can understand, and also for response they have to do a lot of conversion so that Java application can understand. Correct? Finally, ORM came into the picture. It is a lifesaver for developer and programmer. Now object of Java directly can be used against underlying database, and response from DB also easy to understand by the Java application. So this ORM, so basically ORM is an API which maps object into relational request and relational response into object. So like it is doing some sort of mapping or conversion from object to relational data and relational data to object. You can say it is a bridge between your object oriented code and relational database. Hibernate was most known and successful ORM implementation, came into existence around year 2001. Right now this video I am making in 2021. Hibernate is still one of the most known and most used ORM framework into the market today. In the year 2006, Sun Microsystem, which is now Oracle, came up with a standard for persistence layer implementation called JPA. So for data access layer implementation, there are set of rules that has been given by Sun Microsystem, and those rules are a standard called JPA, Java Persistence API. It becomes so success that many vendors implemented the standard. However, Hibernate once again became extremely successful and renowned after JPA implementation. Here you can see some of the JPA implementation vendor today in the market, like a Hibernate is there, TopLink is there, Eclipse Link, Apache OpenJPA, Data Nucleus, ObjectDB, CMobilecom JPA. So many are there. However, the most renowned and the perfect one is the Hibernate. Now let's understand some of the points from JPA, that is Oracle one, the base one. What JPA says about persistence layer, what are the standard that you need to take care of according to Oracle. That's what we need to understand. What you have to do is you just have to go to Google and just go for JPA Oracle and go for documentation. What you can do is you can use this link as well, or you can Google it. So okay, here you have to go for JPA Oracle. So this is introduction to Java Persistence API. That's what where you have to go. And now you can see you have to go for entities. You will see all the standard whatever defined for entities, entity inheritance, managing entities, query entities. So all those things you can learn from Oracle site. That will give you a whole lot of idea. I'll walk you through the most important one. However, I would recommend you to go for all these by yourself and try to understand, because this is the authentic source. I can give you some of the high level like this is what and that. However, if you want to get the real essence of all this JPA, you have to go for Oracle JPA and try to understand how it works, how the definition has been provided. I'm going to explain you high level thing on all these things. So let's try to understand. So now first thing is you need to understand what is entity. Entity is nothing but it's a table into your database. Whenever you are creating an entity into your Java code, basically it is corresponds to table into the database. Requirement for an entity or domain class. Class must be annotated with javax.persistence.entity. That is first requirement. Must have public or protected no arg constructor. That is second requirement. Class or property or method should not be final. Third requirement. Properties of entity class must be serialized. So primitive data type is by default serialized, so you need not to worry about primitive data type. However, if you are going to use any of the derived data type, you have to make sure it is serialized. Method convention of Java, when it is like POSO class, a method, get property, set property, like that. All fields should not be transient. Transient field meaning those field is not going to be persisted into your database. So all field should not be transient. You can put validation on property, something like not null. You can put a map pattern like for email and all. You can put temporal. You can put past. Past is like for birthday, it needs to be the past only, correct? So all those sort of validation also you can put on top of your entity. So this is all about entity on a high level. Now each entity will have a primary key, either a simple or composite. So like entity needs to have a primary key. That is a must thing. Okay, again, primary key can be of it is a simple primary key by using one field or attribute, or it can be composite primary key by the combination of more than one column or attribute or field. Actually, I'm going to make a video how to handle composite primary key. That will be a separate video. So you need not to worry about composite primary key right now. To manage entity, JavaX Persistence Entity Manager will be used. The Entity Manager API creates and removes persistent entity instances, finds entities by the entity primary key, and allows queries to be run on entities. So basically, like by using Entity Manager, you are going to go for all your CRUD operation. Okay. Entity Manager can be of container managed or application managed. If it is application managed, then you have to take care of life cycle of Entity Manager. So like there could be the possibility you will get Entity Manager from the container itself, like JBoss or WebLogic. Those are application server. From their container you can automatically get Entity Manager. However, you can manage from your application also. In the case of Hibernate, you can get Entity Manager from Entity Manager Factory, correct? So when you are getting from the Entity Manager Factory, then obviously you have to manage the life cycle, like like you have to take care of life cycle of your Entity Manager. So we will not go deep into that, because here we will not learn about Entity Manager, Entity Manager Factory and all. What we will do is we will focus on Spring Data JPA. So actually Spring Data JPA, the base is JPA from Oracle. Okay, now by using Oracle JPA, Hibernate has implemented in a best way this data JPA. Best way implementation done by Hibernate. Now what we are doing in a Spring Data is basically a Spring Data JPA will be a wrapper on top of Hibernate JPA. So like Hibernate already given a lot of convenience to developer to implement JPA. Now on top of that, Spring Data is giving you extremely great convenience to develop your data JPA code. So that's the beauty about a Spring Data. So internally, it also uses Hibernate only. So now what you can do is you just have to go for a Spring Data JPA documentation. I'll cover the high level thing. However, I would recommend you to go for this Spring Data JPA documentation. It is highly recommendable. You must have to go over there and try to learn about a Spring Data JPA. So what I'll do is I'll just walk you through on the site how to go to a Spring Data JPA and how to learn about different thing on a Spring Data JPA. So just give me 1 second. So on Google, you have to write a Spring space Data JPA. Okay, simple. So this is a Spring IO. You have to go over there. This one. Okay, now you have to go for Learn tab, and here you can see reference document. So you have to go for reference document. API document is for classes. So reference documentation, it will talk about whole lot of things. So you just have to go for it. You can also go with working with a Spring Data repository. So they will talk about repository thing, like what are the core concept and all. Okay. Spring Data JPA, you can go for API doc as well. So here you can see JPA repository. First we will go. Here you can see JPA repository is there. So go for that. Just click on that JPA repository. So this is JPA repository. It's an interface. JPA repository extends CRUD repository, paging and sorting, query. All these has been extended by JPA repository. So you can go for CRUD repository also if you want to understand. So like that, you can go for different repository and try to understand what is the purpose in API as well as the documentation also. I have shown you how to go for the documentation, as well I have shown you how to go for API. I would strongly recommend to go for all this documentation. This will give you a great idea and knowledge about data JPA. Now let's go back to our slide. Okay, Spring Data JPA. Here in a Spring Data JPA, entity will be managed by repository. Repository is a central marker interface which needs domain object and primary key. There are different repository which you can make use of based on your requirement to query against database. So what I have done is I have just taken some of the most known repository and I have kept it over here on this slide. if you will see, actually all these are interface only. So basically each repository corresponds to each entity. What you have to do is you just have to define your own custom repository interface which will extend any of this repository. Okay, at the runtime Spring Data JPA will give implementation of those repository, okay, whatever you have created. So in CRUD repository there are method which are available for CRUD operation. Paging and sorting, like as name suggests, it will have functionality of paging and sorting. Okay, now let's talk about JPA repository. In JPA repository, basically it extend paging and sorting. So when it extend paging and sorting, by default it will extend CRUD and repository as well. Also it extend query by example executor. So you will get whole lot of thing in JPA repository. So it totally depends which functionality you want to use. Accordingly you can choose your repository. Also you can create your own custom repository as well, which we will go through in our coming videos. So from next video onwards, what we are going to do is we are going to create our entity class, we are going to create corresponding repository, we are going to talk to our database. In our next video, particularly we will talk about how to make use of the method given by these repository. Like in CRUD repository, there are methods for saving your object or data. You have a method for fetching the data. You have a method for updating the data. You have method for deleting the data. So all those we are going to try in our next video. In next video, we will talk about some of the query thing, how you can define your own query. All those things we will talk in next video. Then after we will talk about some of the mapping thing, like relationship between the table and all, like one-to-one mapping, many-to-one mapping. All those things we are going to talk in our further coming videos. So guys, stay tuned for the videos and I'll connect you back in my next video where we will do a lot of programming in order to practice Spring Data JPA. Once again guys, thanks a lot for joining me today. Before I'll go, I'll highly recommend you to go through all this documentation and be ready for our next video where we will talk a lot about the practical thing about how to use a Spring Data JPA. These documentation learnings is very needed in order to make you understand in my next video about how to work on a Spring Data JPA. So guys, I'll connect you in my next video. Till then, take care, stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you. Bye.